to monitor and manage the spread of the HMPV. Director of Special Duties, Office of the Director General of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. John Oladejo, said that the federal government would implement preventive measures by activating surveillance measures to curb the spread of the virus. The Ojokoro Local Council Development Area, LCDA of Lagos State, has embarked on a free tuberculosis screening to eradicate the disease in its communities, as members of the communities were at the program held at the Council Secretariat on Monday. Ahmed Tijani, Executive Chairman of the LCDA, in his remarks said the intervention would be in no small measure reduce spread of the disease and other minor ailments at the grassroots level. Tijani said the exercise is a demonstration of the Council's commitment to bridging the gap in healthcare access by bringing essential health services directly to the people. He added that by providing free tuberculosis screening, the LCDA aimed to detect and treat the disease early, reduce its spread, and improve the quality of life of those affected. The council boss noted that in addition to the tuberculosis screening, the program also included comprehensive health checkups. He expressed the council's gratitude to the healthcare professionals, development partners, and all other stakeholders for their collaboration in making the event a reality. The police command in the FCT has confirmed the deaths of 2 people from an explosion that rocked Sangaya Sani Othman Islamia School in the Biazin area of Abuja. The police public relations officer in the FCT, SP Josephine Ade, said this in a statement on Monday in Abuja. The tragic incident involving an explosion occurred at about 11 a.m. on Monday. According to her, upon receiving a distress call from the community leader in the area, a team of police operatives, including the command's explosive ordnance disposal team, were deployed. She said the area was immediately cordoned off to protect residents and facilitate a thorough investigation by the police team. Ade said that the victims were promptly evacuated and rushed to the hospital for medical attention during the rescue operation. Ade said the FCT bomb squad had confirmed that the incident was an IED explosion, adding that the remnants of the device had been recovered. She said the owner of the school had been taken into custody for questioning, adding that the further findings would be communicated to the public in due course. She said the Commissioner of Police in charge of the FCT, Olatunji Disu, enjoined the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity, behavior, or items with explosive device resemblance to the police. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has expressed deep concern over the increasing vandalism of manhole covers across the federal capital city. Addressing journalists shortly after inspecting ongoing repairs on some recently vandalized manhole covers along the B6 and B12 circle roads in the Central Business District of the FCC on Monday, the Executive Secretary, FCDA Engineer Richard Dauda, said that such acts of vandalism damage public infrastructure and deprive citizens of essential services and resources. He explained that the stolen covers were specifically designed to withstand heavy vehicular traffic and are crucial for the proper functioning of the city's drainage system. Engineer Dauda also emphasized the security implications of the thefts of public infrastructure, stating that the FCT administration is working with security agencies to strengthen measures to check acts of vandalism in the nation's capital, Abuja. Recognizing the immediate need for repairs, the Executive Secretary revealed that the FCT Minister, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has directed the swift replacement of all stolen covers to ensure public safety and prevents damage to vehicles. The Executive Secretary highlighted efforts by the FCTA to explore alternative materials for the covers, such as the composite materials, which are less attractive to thieves due to their low recycling value, but regretted that they were still being targeted by vandals. While assuring that the replacement will be completed soon, the Executive Secretary urged the media to join in the campaign against the destructive behavior and educate the public on the importance of protecting public properties. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, has declared that vandals arrested by security agents in connection with the removal of sewage manhole covers on highways in Abuja will be made to face the full wrath of the law. The minister also warned that all the buyers and users of the vandalized manhole covers and other vandalized public infrastructure will be arrested and prosecuted for economic sabotage and putting the lives of Nigerians at risk. This was contained in a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and New Media, Larry Olayinka, on Monday. He commended the security agencies for their prompt and decisive actions while describing their collaborative efforts as fantastic and a further assurance to the residents of the Capital Territory that their lives and properties are protected. He also commended Nigerians for showing patriotism in leaving or in speaking about against the vandalization, adding that safeguarding public amenities is first and foremost the duty of Nigerians who are owners and users of the amenities. Governor Peter Amba of Enugu State has welcomed the year 2025 with a message of hope and optimism, thanking God for the gift of life and expressing gratitude to the people of Enugu for their unwavering support and commitment. The governor gave the New Year address at the Government House Chapel earlier today. Signature TV correspondent Chinemere Mikiwonam reports.
Enugu State ushered in the new year with a spirit of gratitude and hope. The atmosphere was electric as citizens and government officials gathered for a heartfelt Thanksgiving service, filled with uplifting hymns and praises. In his New Year address, Governor Peter Amba reflected on his administration's achievements in 2024, including completing projects commissioned by President Bola Tinubu during his visit to the state. Mba emphasized his vision for Enugu State to become a premier destination for tourism, investment, and living in 2025. He also stressed the importance of sustainability in the state's development, ensuring continuous progress and improvement. The governor urged Enugu citizens to work together towards a higher sense of duty, noting that 2025 holds much promise for all.
And they are indeed a critical source of strength for us to keep pushing on. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of us and by extension, ENUGU, for the massive show of support. All of you, a number of you traveled from distant places to join us in welcoming a few days ago our president. I want to say a big thank you to all of you. We do not take your support and commitment for granted.
His address was preceded by a holy mass, a tradition he leads to begin each year with prayers and reflections. The director of Catholic Institutes of Development, Justice, Peace and Caritas, CIDJAP, Reverend Father Donatus Onuibu, called on the government to listen to the people and be reasonable, expressing hope for a brighter future for Enugu State.
People who did that in the past, Galileo, Copernicus, all who saw ahead of their generation, Socrates, many of them were killed, many were suicide. But eventually, posterity will prove them right.
Meanwhile, Oji River Local Government Chairman Greg Anyebudike said that he is committed to working with the state government to drive growth and development in Oji River, backed by an impressive 2025 budget of over 11 billion.
We set up Oji River Economic and Development Steering Committee because we are hoping to see massive development in OGDC. We are moving towards a trajectory of irreversible development of Oji River, turning it from a junction town to a town for living, for leisure, for business, and for other activities, for commercial activities. Oji River is structurally positioned in the state, and where we are positioned, we have a lot of potentials, which we intend that 2025 will help us to harness.
As the gathering drew to a close, attendees were filled with faith and confidence in a bright and prosperous future for Enugu State and its people. Chinemere Mikiwonam, Signature TV News.
The Anambra State Police Command says it's arrested over 300 suspects involved in various criminal activities within the state in the last 1 year. Those arrested include one Pablo, described as the most wanted kidnap kingpin who operates around Ihiala in Anambra State and nearby states like Imo, Delta and Enugu. State Police Commissioner Nata Ntam disclosed this whilst parading the suspects and recovered assorted weapons, including unexploded improvised explosive devices, which were obtained from the arrested suspect at the state headquarters of the command in Amobia. Ntam said the arrest of the suspect took place at different locations and different periods, including a case recorded on December 6, 2024, involving an 18-year-old Miracle Nwakalo from Umwebele village, Orca South local government area, who was arrested by the Special Anti-Cultism Squad ENUGU for being in possession of one AK-47 rifle and one magazine. Other suspects in police net are one Chidebere Okeke and his cousin Emebo Gochuku, who were arrested for allegedly beating their brother to death and burying him in a shallow grave in a compound at the Oko Orumba North local government area. There was also a case of child theft where 4 suspects were arrested, including an illegal foster mother and 4 children who were allegedly stolen from their parents in Bauchi State and sold to another in the state. The police commissioner praised the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun and officers of the state's command and promised to reduce crime by over 30% within the year 2025. In its quest to enforce integrity and rid its fold of fraudulent elements, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) dismissed 27 officers from its workforce in 2024. The officers were dismissed for various offences bordering on fraudulent activities and misconduct. Their dismissal, following the recommendation of the Staff Disciplinary Committee of the EFCC, was ratified by the Executive Chairman Ola Olukoyede. Olukoyede reiterated the commitment of the Commission to zero tolerance for corruption, warning that no officer is immune to disciplinary measures. Every modicum of allegations against any staff of the Commission would always be investigated, including a trending $400,000 claim of a yet-to-be-identified supposed staff of the EFCC against a sectional head. The Commission also wishes to alert the public of the sinister activities of impersonators and blackmailers using the name of his executive chairman to extort money from high-profile suspects being investigated by the EFCC. 2 members of the alleged syndicates, Ojobo Joshua and Liu Hashim, were recently arraigned before Justice Jude Onwebuzie of the Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court, Abuja, for allegedly contacting the former managing director of the Nigerian Port Authority, Mohammed Bello Kaka, and demanding $1 million from him for Olukoyede to give him soft landing on a non-existent investigation. Such characters are still on the loose seeking victims. Troops of 1 Brigade Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fasan Yama have neutralized the notorious terrorist kingpin Sani Irusu in Zamfara State. A statement by the coordinator of the Joint Media Coordination Center Operation Fasan Yama in the state, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, on Monday said the defeats were achieved over the weekend when the troops conducted a fighting patrol to Bamamu village in Safi local government area. On the same day, the statement said troops of Operation Fasan Yama during an ambush operation neutralized some terrorists at Kwana Jollof in Shinkafi local government area. The operation also led to the recovery of the AK-47 rifle and 1 G3 rifle alongside 8 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 4 rounds of 7.62mm NATO ammunition, and 3 magazines and 3 motorcycles. Up ahead, WAEC launches receipts examinations for candidates. Lagos Assembly passes 3.4 trillion naira budget for 2025. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature TV. Nigeria is set to inaugurate a master's program in international trade through the support of the World Trade Organization WTO, awarded to Nnamdi Azikiwe University, UNIZIK, Awka. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, confirmed this when the Nigerian ambassador to the WTO led a delegation to visit her on Monday in Abuja. Oduwole said the program would be executed under a 4-year endowment of 200,000 Swiss francs from the WTO to UNIZIK. She described the award as a significant milestone for the country, as this was the first time Nigeria had secured such an endowment in its 30 years of WTO membership. Oduwole lauded the efforts of Professor Ngozi Ebuna, the lead researcher, and expressed pride in the initiative, which she described as a perfect fusion of academia and government collaboration to advance trade policy. Ambassador Adamu Abdullah Abdul Hamid, Nigeria's prominent representatives to the WTO, highlighted the competitive nature of the WTO Chairs Program, WCP. He explained that the 27 Nigerian universities applied for the program, with Nnamdi Azikiwe University emerging as the winner after rigorous screening. He commended the WTO Director General, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, for her leadership and consistent support for Nigeria. The acting Vice-Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Professor Joseph Ikechebelu, expressed pride in the university's achievements and pledged full institutional support for the program. He assured that the university's curriculum committee would fast-track the establishment of the program, which is expected to start by the next academic session. The West African Examination Council, WAEC, has introduced a new initiative that allows students to resit their West African Secondary School Certificate Examination (WASE) exams as early as January and February 2025. This change is a departure from the previous system, where candidates had to wait for the next private exam session. The head of public affairs, John Kapi, made the revelation in a statement. Commenting on the development, the chairman, Ogun State Chapter, the Academic Staff Union of Secondary School, Felix Oluwaseun and Wesawa, described it as a step in the right direction. Kapi stated that the new program, named WASE PC1, offers a quicker opportunity for students to enhance their grades. He stated that to assist candidates in their preparation, WAEC intends to fast-track the release of the chief examiner's reports. WAEC, however, remains optimistic that this initiative will enable candidates to swiftly improve their grades and qualify for the upcoming admission cycle, preventing a year-long setback in their academic journey. The Benue State Universal Basic Education Board, USUBEB, has been given approval by Benue State House of Assembly to commence the recruitment of over 9,000 teachers. The recruitment exercise was suspended in December following an altercation between the Executive Chairman of SUBEB, Mrs. Grace Adama, and the State Assembly Ad Hoc Committee led by Honorable Cephas Diako. The committee was tasked with investigating the exercise to ascertain whether extant laws were breached and whether due process was followed by the board. After a diligent investigation, the committee gave the Dr. Adaba-led board a clean bill of health and lifted the ban on the recruitment of teachers in the state. Following the development, the board has commenced the process, which is now in its final stages with screening of applicants who met the cutoff marks. In a statement issued by its information officer, Emmanuel Akese, the board commended the patience of all the applicants shortlisted for the exercise. According to the statement, the screening exercise, which will last a week, will commence on January 10, 2024 and end on January 16, 2024, with applicants from 23 local government areas from the state allotted specific dates for screening at the board's headquarters. The Oyo State government is set to review wages, gratuities of pensioners and retirees in line with the new national minimum wage. This was revealed by the state governor, Seyi Makinde, on Monday. Makinde at the 2025 annual Interfaith Thanksgiving service held at the State Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan. He said his government was committed to revisiting the contributory pension scheme, and the government would make an effort to fully address the issues of pensioners and gratuities. According to him, the amount is over 80 billion naira for the state and local government pensioners in particular. He commended the state's workforce and the labor union leaders for their support and cooperation since the inception of this administration. The governor urged them to put in more efforts towards validating their values as public civil servants. He noted that the disposition and support of the state's workforce have given his government a lot of encouragement and urged them to keep it up. Makinde, however, expressed sadness over the stampede which occurred at the Children Fun Fair on December 18th. He disclosed that he has been receiving calls from different people questioning why the organizers should not be allowed to go free. The governor explained that the matter must be handled in accordance with the law. The Lagos State House of Assembly on Monday approved a total sum of over 3 trillion naira as the total budget of the state for 2025. The approval followed the presentation of a report on the budget by the chairman of the Joint Committee on Appropriation and Finance, Honorable Saad Olumo, and the subsequent votes by lawmakers at a sitting presided over by the Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. The approved budget is made of over 1 trillion naira as recurrent expenditure, while over 2 trillion naira is earmarked as capital expenditure for the year ending December 31st, 2025. Dr. Obasa thereafter directed the clerk of the House, Barrister Olaleko Onafeko, to transmit a clean copy of the passed bill to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for assent. The Speaker commended his colleagues for their painstaking efforts leading to the passage of the budget. Recall that Governor Sanwo-Olu had on November 21st presented a proposal of 3 trillion naira to the House for approval. The governor, during the presentation, told the lawmakers that the budget was a deficit financing of over 400 billion naira, adding that the deficit would be financed from external and internal loans and bonds. Meanwhile, the House, during plenary on Monday, also passed a bill to consolidate all laws on local government administration in Lagos State. The bill further makes the provisions based on constitutional amendments as well as amendments by the National Assembly, which have direct effects on the local governments in Lagos State. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria said the net foreign exchange inflows through the economy rose by 65.7% year-on-year to $46.92 billion in the first 10 months of 2024. The CBN's economic reports for the review period show that the rise was from $28.31 billion in the corresponding period of 2023. Aggregate forex inflow to the economy rose year-on-year by 41% to $79.8 billion in 10M24 from $55.57 billion in 10M23. Analysis showed that inflows through autonomous sources rose by 0.06% year-on-year to $35.82 billion. Similarly, outflow through autonomous sources rose sharply by 195% year-on-year to $7.08 billion. Consequently, net forex inflow through autonomous sources rose by 73% year-on-year to $39.7 billion. The data also showed that inflows through the CBN rose by 55% year-on-year to $32.94 billion from $21.25 billion in 10M23. Still to come, Venezuela's opposition leader meets Biden ahead of Maduro's inauguration. Greek Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem leads midnight mass in Bethlehem. Visa more after the break. Do stay with us.
We are local.
We are right now with the wife of the man that was...
Why the main market is in chaos? People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye. We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. This is Global News on Signature TV. The Brazilian Air Force announced that it had completed the extraction, acquisition and validation of data from the flight recorders of the Embraer 190 crash in Kazakhstan in December, according to a statement released on Monday. The statement said that work to extract data from 2 flight recorders was completed on Saturday, and all data was handed over to the Investigation Authority of Kazakhstan, the agency responsible for analyzing and investigating the accident. The operation was carried out by a flight data recorder reading and analysis laboratory of the Aeronautical Accident Investigation and Prevention Center in Brasilia in collaboration with the Aviation Accident and Incident Investigation Department and Ministry of Transport of Kazakhstan. The analysis of data extracted from the flight recorders and the information to be released in the final report by the Investigation Authority of Kazakhstan. Still photographs from Brazilian Air Force released on Monday showed officials checking the box and data recorders from the crashed plane. Embraer 190 crashed near Aktau, Kazakhstan on December 25th, resulting in 38 deaths. The United States is finalizing steps to clear hurdles for civil nuclear partnership with Indian firms. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said on Monday, seeking to give fresh momentum to a landmark deal between the two countries. Washington and New Delhi have been discussing the supply of U.S. nuclear reactors to energy-hungry India since the mid-2000s. But a long-lasting obstacle has been the need to bring Indian liability rules in line with global norms, which require the cost of any accident to be channeled to the operator rather than the maker of a nuclear power plant. The deal was signed by then President George W. Bush in 2007, a major step towards allowing the United States to sell civilian nuclear technology to India. Sullivan is on a 2-day visit to the Indian capital just 2 weeks before President-elect Donald Trump is due to be sworn in.
The United States is now finalizing the necessary steps to remove long-standing regulations that have prevented civil nuclear cooperation between India's leading nuclear entities and U.S. companies. The formal paperwork will be done soon, but this will be an opportunity to turn the page on some of the frictions of the past and create opportunities for entities that have been on restricted lists in the United States to come off those lists and enter into deep collaboration with the United States, with our private sector, with our scientists and technologists to move civil nuclear cooperation forward together.
The United States' first ever congestion pricing plan went into effect on Sunday, having survived multiple legal challenges to derail it. New York is now charging a $9 toll during daytime hours for passenger vehicles driving in Manhattan south of 60th Street, after scrapping an earlier plan to charge $15 that would have started on June 30. Trucks and buses will pay up to $21.60, and there will be 75% discounts for traveling at night. The fee will be charged once a day regardless of how many trips are made for the car owners, while taxis will pay 75% per trip in the Manhattan zone, and Uber or Lyft vehicles reserved by app will pay $1.50 per trip. Drivers traveling on the highways that ring Manhattan in the zone will not be charged.
Roughly 700,000 vehicles enter Manhattan Central Business District every day. And so that's kind of the pool of drivers that could be affected by congestion pricing. By and large, those drivers are higher income than transit users, and about 6 million people ride the transit system every day in New York. So there's kind of an equity argument about what the impacts of the program will be.
It affects everybody because we have to come in every day. We take the bridge every day, which charges $9, and I have my workers come the same thing. It affects everybody, and it really is too much for everyone. Then another thing, everything gotta be charging me more for the delivery, because if you charge you like $9, the delivery will be charging me $20 or more, because everybody's taking advantage. And who's the one who gotta get lost? We're the one who get, really hurt more than anyone else.
President Trump and others who are incoming into the administration have discussed this congestion fee as a challenge to business operations in particular. In fact, the experience that we've seen in places like London and Stockholm is that there was no net effect to business operations. And in fact, customers continued to visit businesses within the zone, and deliveries arrived on time and were more reliable, and workers had more reliable schedules because of this new program in place.
More money for the company, more expensive for the customers, and there's a big problem for everybody. This is not my first day, the toll started yesterday, right? So now I don't got too much traffic, but I'm not sure what happened now.
There are problems with congestion. There's air quality issues. For 17 years, the amount of dust that accumulates in my apartment, we've had to invest in double panel windows because of noise congestion. And here's a video I found on my phone that I took just from this summer, July 4th, at almost 10 p.m. Anytime there's a car stopped, if there's a lane closed, if they're doing work on the weekends or at night, up until 3 in the morning, trucks and cars are honking nonstop.
But the launch was not without a hitch. The EZ Pass New York's website crashed briefly on Monday morning during the first workday of the plan, according to the local news site Patch NYC. New York's New York State Governor Kathy Hochul has said the toll is crucial to making new investment in subways and buses in New York, and that it will support $15 billion in debt financing for mass transit improvement. The MTA has said the fee would cut traffic by 17%, improve air quality, and increase mass transit use by 1% to 2%. New York has said that more than 700,000 vehicles enter the Manhattan Central Business District daily, reducing travel speeds to around 7 miles per hour on average, which is down 23% since 2010, MTA says. London has said that Elon Musk should stay out of politics on Monday after he attacked British government in comments online. Musk has previously commented on British politics and has criticized Prime Minister Keir Starmer repeatedly since anti-immigration riots last summer. But last week, Musk, a close ally of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, backed calls for a national inquiry into the handling of cases of rape by men of Pakistani heritage of underage girls by the government's prosecution service, which Starmer previously ran. A 2014 inquiry found at least 1,400 children were subjected to sexual exploitation in Rotterdam, Northern Ireland, or Northern England between 1997 and 2013. The U.S. billionaire said on Sunday that Nigel Farage would compete as leader of Britain's right-wing Reform UK party in an abrupt withdrawal of support for the Brexit campaigner. Musk had seemingly backed Farage and posed for a photograph with him last month. Last month, Musk endorsed the Alternative for Germany, an anti-immigration, anti-Islamic party labeled as right-wing extremists by German security services ahead of national elections in February.
There's an outside body who's got private interests that we don't understand and we don't know. So it's an unelected official who's demonstrating a political interest for motives that we've got no idea where he's coming from. So yeah, I do have concerns about it.
Elon Musk should not be involved in any form of politics. He should just stick to business, what he knows. Right? There's a misconception that he knows politics because he made it in business. Micro and macroeconomics are two different things. Elon Musk should just stay out of politics, period.
I'd rather he'd stayed out of politics, personally. He's drifted into German politics as well, so you have to ask why. And basically we've got lots of billionaires making lots more money while everyone else is struggling, and then telling us that they're there for our greater good. It doesn't cut, so I don't buy it.
I get nervous when he starts paying large amounts of money and having a very direct influence on our politics, because I think it's hard for the person in the street like me to really understand what's going on when there's so much influence behind the scenes. But I have no problem with the opinion. I start to get worried when there's direct involvement.
Venezuelan opposition leader Edmundo Gonzalez, who says he won by a July presidential election and is recognized by multiple countries as president-elect, said on Monday he had a fruitful meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden and spoke at length with President-elect Donald Trump's security advisor. Gonzalez's visit to Washington comes as part of the regional tour just days before President Nicolas Maduro, recognized by Venezuela's top court and electoral authority as the winner of the election, is set to inaugurate it for the third term. The Venezuelan government said in a statement it was gross tech that Biden was backing a violent project to usurp the country's democracy. The opposition has published detailed vote tallies. It says show a resounding win for Gonzalez, and then international observers have said the vote was unfair. The government has not published detailed vote tallies. Later in the afternoon, Gonzalez said on X that he had a long meeting with Mike Waltz, Trump's national security advisor. Maduro is said to be inaugurated on January 10th. His government has said repeatedly that the arrest of Gonzalez, who has been living in exile in Spain, will be sought if the opposition leader enters Venezuela. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday night attended an Orthodox Christmas service with other worshippers at Moscow's Church of St. George the Victorious. State television showed live clips of Putin inside the church and Orthodox priests conducted the midnight service known as the Divine Liturgy. Many Orthodox Christians, including those living in Russia and Ukraine, celebrate Christmas on January 6th to 7th. Last year, Putin attended the Divine Liturgy in his official Novo Ogayovo residents outside Moscow. Meanwhile, Russian Orthodox Patriarch Kirill led a Christmas Divine Liturgy on Monday night in Moscow's Christ the Savior Cathedral. The ceremony was broadcast on Russian state TV channels. President Vladimir Putin chose to attend the Christmas liturgy in Moscow's Church of St. George the Victorious. Many Orthodox Christians celebrate Christmas on January 6th to 7th. The Greek Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem, Theophilus III, led the midnight mass on Eastern Orthodox Christmas on Tuesday in the West Bank city of Bethlehem, believed to be Jesus' birthplace. This year, church leaders in the Holy Land decided to limit Christmas activities to religious rituals and avoid festivities this year in light of the ongoing war in Gaza. Religious leaders and faithful gathered in the church's grotto for a ritual at the altar marked as the place of Christ's birth. The Eastern churches, including the ancient Assyrian Church, the Greek Orthodox, Armenian, and the Coptic Church. The Church of the Nativity is shared by the Eastern denominations and the Catholic Church, which celebrates Christmas Eve on December 24th. Orthodox Christians do not celebrate Christmas Eve on December 24th, but on January 6th, following the Julian calendar. Supporters of people who were charged in the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack held a vigil in Washington, D.C. on Monday to honor Ashley Babbitt, who was killed during the attack. Nicole Reffitt's husband, Guy Reffitt, an associate of the far-right 3 Percenters militia group, was sentenced to 7.25 years in prison for his role in storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, and for later threatening to harm his own children if they ratted him out to FBI. He was later resentenced and was able to lower his original sentence by 7 months less.
We are honoring those that lost their lives that day, and we're celebrating those that stood up to the government that day. Well, my husband's been detained since January 16th of 2021. He never entered the building, nor was he committed a violent crime that day. He was incarcerated for 87 months because of the obstruction of an official proceeding charge, which has now been brought down by SCOTUS. He is in a Springfield, Missouri holding facility, which that is what this they've been doing to him, is they just move him around the country.
President-elect Donald Trump said in an interview with NBC News Meet the Press with Kristen Welker that he would act on his first day in office to pardon rioters involved in this January 6, 2021 Capitol attack, further building expectation for a broad granting of clemency. Trump told Welker that there could be some expectations to his pardons if the individuals had acted radical or crazy during the assault, which left more than 140 police officers injured and led to several deaths. But Trump described the prosecution of his supporters as inherently corrupt and did not rule out pardoning the more than 900 defendants who had already pleaded guilty, including those accused of acting violently in the attack. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday said he would step down in the coming months after 9 years in power, bowing to pressure from lawmakers alarmed by his Liberal Party's miserable showing in pre-election polls. A subdued Trudeau, among the most prominent progressive leaders in the world, told the press conference that he would stay on both as Prime Minister and Liberal leader until the party chooses a new chief within months. Trudeau also announced Parliament would be prorogued or suspended until March 24th. That means an election is unlikely before May at the earliest, so Trudeau will remain in charge, at least initially, of dealing with the threat of crippling tariffs once U.S. President-elect Donald Trump takes office on January 20. Public policy professor Kathy Brock of Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, said Trudeau will be running the country unchecked while Parliament is suspended during a crucial time.
But on top of that, it was felt that he wasn't sensitive to concerns that the average person felt. So the cost of food, inflation, the cost of gas, the problems with the border, crime going up in cities. So he went to the Governor General and he asked her for prorogation, which means that he's going to suspend Parliament, and that will continue until March 24th. The average time for a prorogation is usually about 22 days. So this is a very long time for the Parliament to be suspended, It means that the government will be operating without a legislative watchdog in place to see what the government's doing and to demand answers from the government. And this is very important at a time when you have a president like Donald Trump coming in who is talking about imposing tariffs on Canada, and Canada needs to prepare to deal with questions of border security and how we're going to respond to a new regime in the United States. It gives the Prime Minister license to operate essentially in the dark right now.
The next election must be held by late October, and polls show voters angry over high prices and a shortage of affordable housing will elect the opposition, Conservatives, and hand the Liberals a resounding defeat, no matter who leads the party. In his roughly 9 years as Prime Minister, Trudeau will leave behind a complicated legacy in Canada, according to Brock. Dairy & Co. strengthens its bets on autonomous machinery by unveiling new tractors and industrial equipment capable of operating without the need for a human being in the cab at CES trade show in Las Vegas on Monday. The world's largest farm equipment maker is making strides towards automating manual work amidst a shortage of skilled workers and high labor costs. In the agricultural sector, the challenge of finding workers to operate tractors has been a persistent issue and has been worsened by the pandemic.
That was a giant leap forward 3 years ago, and today we're going to take another giant leap forward in John Deere's autonomy journey. Actually, we're going to take 4 giant leaps forward. But first, let me share 3 key reasons why we're on this path. First, the customers we serve every day in agriculture, construction, and commercial landscaping have a wide variety of challenges in their work. One challenge they all face is limited labor availability. Not only has this been an issue recently, it's been a challenge for much of the last 2 decades. And there are many factors that contribute to the labor gap, things like rural to urban migration and an aging industry demographic. But regardless of current events, this has been a persistent challenge that we are intent on solving.
Orchard tractors need to navigate through dense canopies with trees that are up to 30 feet tall. That's much taller than the tractor itself. And the density of those branches create challenges for traditional GPS. And so these challenges have required a different approach for obstacle detection and navigation. So in addition to the 7 cameras around the tractor, we've also introduced LiDAR sensors as well.
This big-ass truck, and yes, it really is this big in real life, is one of the many types of big earth-moving equipment that we manufacture in Davenport, Iowa. This machine leverages the same autonomy stack as its autonomous farming siblings. It starts with high-performance electronics, designed and tested by John Deere for over 30 years to operate in Earth's toughest environments.
The Moline, Illinois-based company revealed the second generation of its autonomy kit, which combines advanced computer vision, AI, and cameras to help machines navigate terrains at CES 2025. Dairy and other equipment makers such as Caterpillar have invested heavily in technology to automate off-highway vehicles such as farm tractors and mining vehicles. Apart from 2 autonomous tractors, Dairy also revealed a dump truck for quarries and a battery electric commercial landscaping mower. All of them will be equipped with multiple cameras to facilitate full autonomy. Customers can also equip existing Dairy tractors, articulated dump trucks, and commercial mowers with autonomy kits, Dairy said. Technology company TCL promised a TV for most people at CES in Las Vegas on Monday, boasting that its new QM 6K mini LED TV carried a price point that consumers will be able to afford. The new TV, the first model in TCL's all-new precise timing series, featuring TCL's enhanced QD mini LED system, according to the company, made its debut at the company's press conference a day before the conference is set to open to the public. Scott Ramirez, Vice President of Product Marketing and Development, showed off the screen's colors derived from completely reformulated quantum dot crystals.
We have for this year completely reformulated our quantum dot crystals. They are not only more vibrant, but they're also more accurate. So of course we can do 1 billion colors, But now we can do 1 billion colors with up to 98% plus of DCI P3 color gamut. We are going to give the consumer that great color for basically the life of the television. You look at all this technology, which I told you about, and all of these features, which I told you about. But what I didn't tell you is that the QM6K is going to come at retail price points that people can actually afford. So what does that make it? That's going to make it the new definition of affordable premium. Not the new definition of affordable or the new definition of premium. The new definition of affordable premium. This is the TV for most people.
TCL's smallest and most affordable option starts with the 50 screen size at $749. The company also introduced its new 60XE Next Paper 5G smartphone, which can convert to an e-reader with the switch of a button on its side, the company said. The first major winter storm of the new year swept into the U.S. mid-Atlantic states on Monday morning, closing down federal offices and public schools in Washington, D.C. The same day, the U.S. Congress is set to meet and formally certify Republican Donald Trump's election as president. About 5 inches had fallen in the nation's capital by 8 a.m. on Monday, according to the U.S. National Weather Service, with up to 8 inches in some surrounding areas of Maryland and Virginia. The snow was forecast to continue throughout the day before the system pushes out to sea on Monday evening. The Smithsonian's National Zoo posted video on Monday of giants panda Bao Li and Queen Bao enjoying a frolic in the snow as Washington, D.C. was blanketed by a winter storm. The panda pair will make their public debut Friday, January 24th. China sends the pandas past part of an agreement announced last year by U.S. and Chinese government officials intended to warm relations between the two superpowers. The zoo returned 3 other giant pandas, 2 adults and their cub, which had been on loan from China. Aryna Sabalenka is bidding to become the first woman to lift 3 straight Australian Open trophies since Swiss Martina Hingis won from 1997 to 1999, and the world number 1 will head the Melbourne pack brimming with confidence. Sabalenka geared up for her title defense at the opening Grand Slam of the year with a win at the Brisbane International and looks the hot favorite for another successful summer in Australia. 5 times Grand Slam champion Iga Swiatek helped Poland reach the final of the United Cup, but has traditionally struggled to hit the ground running at the tournament, with her best results a semi-final in 2022. Right on her heels is American Coco Gauff, who defeated the Pole at the United Cup and has now raked up consecutive victories over Swiatek. Italian Jasmine Paolini will be hoping to keep her momentum going from a breakthrough 2024 that saw her reach the final of the French Open and Wimbledon, as well as playing an instrumental role in Italy's Billie Jean King Cup victory. Last year's finalist Zheng Qinwen also enjoyed a successful campaign, claiming the Paris Olympics gold medal and WTA Tour titles in Tokyo and Palermo. There is a strong American contingent in the draw, led by world number 7 Jessica Pegula, world number 8 Ima Navarro, and world number 11 Danielle Collins. The Australian Open begins on January 12th. And that's the news this hour. I'm Charles Pius. Thanks for watching. Join me in a couple of minutes for the morning show.
when you are prepared, there will be no issues of flooding and consequences. But when you are not prepared, then you meet the consequences. But the issue here is that there will always be water. And when that water is not properly managed, then comes flood. What do I mean? Flooding results mostly when there is torrential rainfall. We will always pray for rain, because if there is no rain, we won't have food, because it is rain that nourishes our plants and crops, and even to drink, we actually rely on water. So the issue here is
Good morning and welcome to Signature Morning on Signature TV. My name is Quinsley Rowland, and of course today is the 7th of January and it's still the new year. The air is still fresh, everybody's still in back in the season of the new year, and people are still traveling from their homes back to where they are based, from their villages back to where they are based. People are still, you know, going for weddings, for burials, whatever the ceremony is. But the year is still, we are still yet to explore the year. It's still the beginning of the year. Of course, I am Quinsley Rowland.
And I am Charles Pius. Thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are watching us from. Remember, you can join us on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at least the major ones, or Signature TV News. Something I also wanted to share is that it's okay to be confused when the year starts off like this. You know, I mean, not everybody gets it all ticked. Not everybody gets it all covered up. Not everybody gets it all planned out. It's okay to be a little bit confused, okay, to be a little bit just there and trying to see where, you know, the world is pandering to, or maybe where your environment is pandering to, so as to key into the opportunities that is available to you. And trust me, there is that one opportunity that you haven't taken. So I would urge every one of you to take that opportunity. And that's something else I also want to say, is that do not fall into that temptation of doing what somebody else is doing because it's working for them. All right, so some things can work for a friend, can work for somebody within your compound, can work for somebody that is in church, can even work for somebody that is even in your school circle. But trust me, when you venture into that thing, it may not work for you. And this cuts across relationship, or even selling of stuff, or embarking on a particular cause, or everything basically. I mean, somebody can say, you know what, let me start selling pure water today, and maybe you should use that as a side hustle. Somebody can say, let me start selling, you know, bags, school bags. I could use that as a side hustle. So people could decide to do their things after having put down all the strategies that are using, you know, to achieve that goal. But if you embark on it because somebody is doing it and you embark on it without even checking through what they're doing, you might fall victim of failure even before the year starts. So do not fall into that temptation of doing what somebody else is doing, except you know the business, or you know whatever it is that you are embarking upon and the end game of whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going straight to the headlines on our dailies this morning. Do stay with us. Welcome back. This is Signature Television. So we're going straight to the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Punch, just below the masts, New Year message. APC tackles obedience as Obi alleges threats to life. With the rider, Obi playing politics of bitterness, says APC. Nigeria transforming into repressive regime, says ex-governor.
Northwest bandits fleeing to Oyo State, Makinde cries out.
EFCC sacks 27 corrupt officers, probes $400,000 fraud complaints.
Retirement, top generals get $20,000 medical allowance, bulletproof SUV and others.
Woman who cursed Sheyi Tinubu IG gets 10 million naira bill.
OAGF indicts NNPCL in 514 billion naira transactions.
JAMB generated 22.9 billion naira, remitted 6 billion naira to federal government, says board.
Trump proposes US to Canada merger as Trudeau resigns.
All the details you can find on the Punch newspaper this morning. We're moving over to the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard this morning, below the mast, thousands face life-threatening ailments from lead poisoning.
I've received threat messages, says P2B.
EFCC fires 27 officers over alleged corruption.
2 killed, 2 injured as explosion rocks school in Abuja.
Abo tanker explosion. I saw my wife on the ground burning. Daughter distraught, husband speaks.
EFCC fires 27 officers over alleged corruption.
Suspension of local government chairman. Court orders Okwebolo, Edo Assembly to maintain status quo.
After NERC approval, Aba Power hikes electricity tariff by 120%.
Sokoto's SSG loses daughter, 3 grandchildren, house help to fire.
Court grant 10 million naira bail to lady detained for threatening Tinubu's son, says IGP.
All right, we're moving now over to the next newspaper. On the Nation newspaper this morning, federal government revives bids to float national carrier.
Socialite Bisola Edinosere, aka Cash Madam, dies at 89.
Makinde insists on prosecution of Oni's ex-wife, Hamzat, and others.
China virus. NCDC reactivates COVID-19 protocols with the rider. Screening of incoming passengers at borders begins. No cause for alarm yet.
Troops ISWAP in bloody Borno battle.
Ghana's new president, John Mahama, and his offer Kwara State's connection.
Senate House begin work on 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget estimates. With the rider, MTAs take turns to defend allocation before National Assembly committees.
Sarkozy on trial for Gaddafi cash.
Now we're moving over to the Nigerian Tribune. On the Nigerian Tribune this morning, just below the mast, New Year message, my life under threat, Obi alleges.
ISWAP raids Borno military base, 6 soldiers feared killed.
Ibadan stampedes, justice must be done. Makinde speaks with the rider, says ex-queen Naomi Hamzat's principal will face trial.
Court orders Okwebolo, Edo Assembly to maintain status quo. With the rider, another 2 council chairmen impeached.
2024 UTME. JAM remits 6 billion naira to federal government coffers, with the rider contributes over 50 billion naira to national treasury in 7 years.
Obasanjo, Abiodun, Daniel Amosun, Adebutu, others mourn as Cash Madam Edinosere dies at 89.
Army uncovers 20 illegal refineries, arrest 11 operators in 4 states.
Tax reform bills, Governors Forum cancelling meeting 4 times, says Oyedele.
EFCC dismisses 27 officers for fraudulent activities and misconduct.
KPMG Banking Industry Survey, UBA emerges top 5 in customers' experience.
ASWAB raids Borno military base, 6 soldiers feared, killed. All the details on the Nigerian Tribune. We're moving now over to the Daily Times newspaper. On the Daily Times, just below the mast, EFCC dismisses 27 officers for fraudulent activities and misconduct.
Economy, Tinubu right to ignore IMF and World Bank recommendations, says Senator Kano.
10 months after, Saudi acquits 3 Nigerians over drug charges.
Oil marketers predict drop below.
NDLEA arrest drug kingpin, Nollywood filmmaker.
Governor Muftwang set to recover government assets and inaugurates recovery panel.
1 dead, several injured as explosion rocks Islamia school in the FCT. Now over to the Nigerian Blueprint newspaper. On the blueprints above the mast, I killed Okada rider, sold machine for 310,000 naira in Niger, says suspect.
Makinde alleges bandits relocating to Oyo from Northwest.
Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms. We wrote 6 governors. Only Obasani Sanwo-Olu met us. With the rider says others have no time for us. Governors Forum invited us. Cancelled appointments 4 times, says Oladele.
And from the business scene, we have Port Harcourt and Warri refineries will boost Naira value and address FX challenges.
2025 budget. Senate to suspend plenary for 2 weeks on resumption. National Assembly sets January 31st as tentative dates for passage.
And from the sports scene, we have Chan, home Eagles will shine at tournament, says captain.
EFCC dismisses 27 officers for fraudulent activities and misconduct.
Ibadan Stampede. Oni's ex-queen Agidigbo boss principal must face trial, says OISG.
Nigeria records 63.7% surge in diaspora remittances in 2024. All right. We're moving over now to the Daily Trust newspaper. Today, 7th January 2025. On the Daily Trust, Boko Haram attacks military base, kills soldiers, vigilantes in Borno.
Disengaged staff sue CBN and demand compensation.
2 killed in Abuja school bombing. Police arrest proprietor, urge vigilance.
Nigeria screens air travelers as HMPV spreads to more countries.
All right. Security operatives destroy 2 IEDs in Niger community.
EFCC sacks 27 officers over fraud.
All right. That's all on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, and it has been an interesting updates out of the dailies. I mean, so many persons have been talking about these latest developments, especially as it relates to Peter Obi alleging that there are threats to his life because he's in opposition. I mean, a few days back, on the 1st, I think specifically on the 1st of January, he was also stating that it was very difficult to be in opposition, that sometimes the government can go as far as even, hitting at your business or even hitting at your associate's business just to
get back
get at you to make sure that you succumb. I mean, I'm not too sure that kind of politics should be welcomed in our world. I mean, when we turn our political space into a one-party state, I mean, it becomes a bigger problem because, I mean, nobody does the checks and balances. We're already seeing PDP falling like a pack of cards. Labour Party rarely even says anything these days. We only have individuals doing the work of opposition of some sort. It does look like party politics, opposition party politics in Nigeria has totally, been railroaded, given what we are seeing. PDP is not saying anything. Labour Party is not saying anything. You just have flashes of Atiku coming in to say a word or two. Peter Obi sometimes also saying a word or two, you know, about the policies and governance of this particular administration. And then you wonder whether, you know, there will be an elections come 2027.
This headline that has been making rounds on the newspapers, the Abuja bombing that happened in the school, it really struck my mind because going over the news, we have like 2 people are dead, 3 injured, or 2 were injured. And knowing that this thing happened in a school, I'm worried, like, is there any particular agenda to this bombing? This is just these are like primary school students that are facing situations like this, and I'm really surprised because I was thinking bombing should be focused on a larger area, not just schools. And this school has like a population of less than 30 students, if you ask me. So I'm really surprised that they'll go as far as bombing this school. I'm really surprised, honestly, and it's been making rounds on this the newspapers. I even watched on TV. You could see trails of blood on the classrooms. Everywhere was so deserted, and people went about their business for the day, even in that situation. People that lived in that community.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we do not return back to the days of bombing. I mean, we usually have these days of rage. I mean, every single day, I think sometime around the Goodluck Jonathan's era, we had bombings happen every single day. It's somewhere in Borno, some other places in also Yobe State. But that era has passed. I also remember the bombing that happened at Abuja. That is a very popular Nyanya bombing where a lot of people died. It was one early morning, and I was in Abuja when that bombing actually happened, and it was really devastating how that happened because it was a very busy time in the morning, and it was so sad that people lost their lives in that manner. Goodluck Jonathan at the time was the president, and he visited the scene of that particular accident or that particular bombing, and it was really devastating. It was something that really shook the entire nation's capital. I'm just thinking to myself, IEDs, that is the explosive device, are not some things you can walk on the street and pick.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not
People work on it.
It's not like Abuja is a place where fightings have been happening or fighting between 2 warring parties have been happening to be able to walk on the road and pick bullets or walk on the road and pick IEDs. So that particular IED that was found in the school was planted. I mean, that is for me, someone who's been reading what's going on there. It was planted, but I'm not too sure who planted it. The proprietor has been taken into custody. We also have seen that some other persons have been taken into custody for them to answer questions around how in the world would that IED be in that school at that time. And the school just resumed, remember? Just resumed yesterday. And I'm just wondering, what in the world is an IED doing within the school premises of that Islamia school in Biazin in the FCT? It's just so sad. But the police have said they are investigating the matter, and I'm sure that in due course we'll get some detail regarding that.
Speaking of bombing, there was an attack at Borno State where Boko Haram attacked military base, killed soldiers and vigilantes in Borno State. And I think this is an era. This is an era of I have no idea why it's happening now, because this is just a new year. People are still trying to, recover and get over their plans for the year, and we're having stories like this. I thought this would have ended a long time ago, like last year, the December-November period where we had the Stampede case and kidnap and the rest of it. So I feel it's too early in the year to start experiencing things like this. People are just getting back from the holiday. I mean, children are in school and then they just walk into the classrooms and they get bombed. And 2 people are already dead, 2 are injured and in the hospital. So this Boko Haram now coming to attack the military base and killing soldiers, it just creates another level of insecurity in the country and giving people this mindset that you are really not safe out there wherever you're going to. If the military base can actually be attacked, and even the vigilantes that are supposed to, watch over us at night and protect us while we sleep are being attacked, that means that everybody cannot really have peace while sleeping in their houses. And of all the places to be attacked, it's a military base. I'm really surprised.
I mean, first of all, before anybody attacks you in the first place, they tend to attack you at the time when they know that you don't have so much defense or so much power to attack back.
True.
So maybe they do that in the middle of the night, early in the morning, and so that way, you know, it's dark. You're not going to be able to see what's going on. And when they attack, they attack in their numbers. So you can't outnumber them. So I'm sure that attack wasn't something that, you know, you could say that was just planned in, you know, within one day or 2 days. You know, they took their time and then they attacked. And it's just so sad that we're still having these issues in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. Borno has really suffered. When I mean suffered, this is a state that you could look at and say they are a state where you could get agricultural produce.
True.
You could get your rice, your millet, your yam, just practically everything. I mean, food is quite cheap there because of how industrious when it comes to agriculture that they are right there. But right now, because of the issues of farmers' headers clash, and most of the farmers no longer go there. Remember, the states also have had issues with bombings, from one insecurity issues to another. The state also recently had this Lagdo Dam, you know, collapse.
True.
That had most of Maiduguri swamped in water, and most of the agricultural produce that people planted within that vicinity, you know, got washed away by, you know, the flood that happened due to the collapse of that particular dam. And so when you see some things like this again coming up, you tend to wonder really, how is the average man in Borno State even faring? Like, the thought of, when I go out, I might not come back, or the thought of a military base has just been attacked. Who am I not to be attacked if a military base can be attacked? So
exactly.
you think of the insecurity that comes then, and then you think, why would you want to go to the farm to cultivate your crops when a military base has just been attacked? How is that even possible? You know, due to these agricultural issues that we're talking about, in fact, staple food is now very expensive. Onion, one onion is going.
500 now.
It's even more than 500, depending on the size.
Exactly.
You know, 500 is probably the smallest one, but if you want the big one, you're talking about 800 to 1,200. So it's that bad. So I just hope that some way, somehow, Borno will find a way around, you know, overcoming all of these chaos that they have passed,
I believe so.
or they have experienced in the last 10 years.
I believe so. Another thing that has been making rounds is this human metapneumovirus that has been going around, even to the point of quarantining people and, you know, trying to get to the roots of it. And I realized that this was discovered in 2001. It's not something that is new. And this kind of virus actually affects your respiratory system. That's the problem. It's just like the coronavirus, sorry. It was identified in 2001 and is known to cause respiratory infections, particularly in young children, older adults, and people with weakened immune system. And this draws my attention to people taking their health as priority, you know, eating the right food, staying hydrated, and equally taking supplements that will help boost your immune system, as well as having vegetables and just eating right, basically. But I'm surprised. Everything has to come from China. I don't know if it's just me. You know, the news has it that someone traveled from China and was spotted with this virus, and this is how these things keep spreading, just like how it happened during the corona period, when someone traveled, came to Nigeria and made contact with every other person, and that was how everywhere was in total lockdown. People were being quarantined, people died, and the rest of it. Like, people were really scared for their life that period, and I really do not want that to, you know, happen again, because it's just going to look like another 2020, and we really do not want that right now, especially when people are really hungry in this part of the country. So if I wear your shoes, I would advise that you stay hydrated and if you have these symptoms, you can actually take over-the-counter medications, and if it persists, you can actually, see a doctor, get quarantined, and just do the proper thing, other than hiding it from people and causing more casualty. Because that's what happened during the Corona period, when people noticed that they had COVID-19, and they were more worried about not being quarantined, because the news had it that they don't feed well wherever they go to. They had 2 slices of bread and tea that didn't taste well. So I feel if you're found in this situation, you should just do the right thing, so that we don't have the case of the COVID-19 where people get infected across the country and everybody's put on total lockdown.
Absolutely. I mean, this is quite interesting. I mean, just as you've put it, just to add to what she has mentioned, something you could do to improve your immune system, because again, it's all about your immune system. We also understand that the disease actually affects kids under the age of 14 years. Over 5,000 persons have been hospitalized. In northern China, it is even a chaotic situation across hospitals over there. And so because of that, the federal government has been putting measures in different airports across Nigeria, especially the ones coming from China and Asia, in order to make sure that these issues, don't spread into our country. Something you can do to improve your body, your system, your immune system, I mean, beyond the HPMV that we're experiencing right now, is, mixing lemon, lime, garlic, or put it together, and at least have that once in 3 days. I mean, it's been proven to have a huge source of improving your metabolism and improving your system, so you don't get easily infected by any form of diseases. I really want to appreciate you guys for staying tuned into this station. We're back shortly after this. Do stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
When you think of the foremost Igbo leader, the name Nnamdi Azikiwe comes to mind. Zik was able to lead the Igbo nation in his era, lead Nigeria in his era. But when you concentrate on the eastern region, or the southeast, or whatever the Igbo nation is today, which goes beyond the 5 states of the southeast, recall that we had the greatest leader, as far as I'm concerned, Africa ever saw, Dr. Michael Obara, who led from the eastern region from here, and I keep saying from 1960, as at 1964, just 4 years, he was able to turn the economy of the eastern region, mostly the Igbo people, because the eastern region you have the Efiks, you have the Bibios, you have the Ikweres and all the other tribes. Well, the Ikweres are Igbos actually. But Obara was able to use agriculture, for instance, industrialization, to take our economy from where it was in 1960 to being one of the fastest growing economies of the world within 4 years. And if you think that this was rated as at 1964, that Obara had been in office for just 4 years then, it was the coup that removed him of 1966, unfortunately. We have had an excellent leader in the past. He's not been the only one. Since him, we've had other great ones. I mean, we've had other leaders. Ojukwu, for instance, the late great Ikemba, was a great leader of our people. So we never really lacked great leaders. But what we need to do, and if we're talking about Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, the apex organization of the Igbo nation, we should make sure that we stop electing very old leaders. And I say use the word very old advisedly, because I pray that I'm old. I pray that I get to 80 and plus. I'm advocating I will go for a generational shift and look one generation down or one decade down, instead of going for the 80 plus, who should be sort of enjoying their retirement.
Is because there's going to be holiday, so personally for me it's going to be a relief to be able to rest, because from the pressure of the hustling and bustling, because you know that generally the economy of Nigeria now is zero, so there's a lot of pressure from here and there, especially for families, a lot of pressure. So but what do? We keep struggling. We just pray and thank God for health. Otherwise, the Christmas obviously is going to be a low key for many families for obvious reasons. Everybody in Nigeria knows what's going on. So it's not a happy moment for us because we are not, most Nigerians are not comfortable. They are not happy with the government because of the economic stringent policies that they are put in place. But then we still trust God and believe that God will touch their heart, and so that they will choose the right pedals in the right hole, so that we'll be able to come up with some very good economic policies that will impact the life of Nigerians.
This Christmas, I don't know, but with the way I'm seeing it, it's going to be, to me though, it's going to be one of my, should I say, worst Christmas, because right now, with the cost of living and everything, it's kind of difficult here and there, but I just know that, God is in control. We believe in God, and I know everything is going to work out well. We'll just face it as we see it, and for sure, it's going to be a beautiful day full of enjoyment as usual, but we just hope everything works out fine, and we pray for a successful Christmas and New Year in advance.
Okay, irrespective of the situation that we are facing now, I feel happy, and I'm so happy to see that if God will make it possible, we can see that day. So I'll be so excited. It's going to be a joyful day for us.
Pertaining the Xmas period thing, we prayed hopeful to God for God to make provision for us to celebrate the Xmas and to guide us to the new year. That's what we all feel like.
When you come to a period like this, people struggle to meet up. They go extra miles to get what they want to celebrate Christmas. But if I check the weather from the other side of life, there's no reason of it. Just manage what you have. You want to suffer yourself because you celebrate Christmas. Just a day. When you kill yourself, struggle all. Just a day, you waste everything. After Christmas, still struggling. What's your benefit? You don't have to suffer when you celebrate Christmas. Just get what you want. A little bit. You can afford to get food to eat. Everything is expensive. You cannot just go and struggle, begin to corrupt your life everywhere. Not kill yourself because you want to celebrate a single day.
During this time, you'll be noticing like the way the movement on the road, the way you'll be seeing things going around. But presently now, based on the hardship that's going in the country, seriously, things have changed. Even if you go to the market, the kind of crowd that you see is not like before. So things have really changed in this era. But back, let me just say, 2 years back, it wasn't like that. But now things have seriously changed, and even the price of things in the market are still increasing. But still, the patronage is not that much like before. But still, the price of things are still high.
When Christmas come like this, only to enjoy yourself, We all spend a lot of money on Christmas because Christmas is a special time to celebrate God, God-based day.
The Christmas is at hand, but the situation of the country, you also have to manage it. Like me now, I'm not buying my children Christmas clothes due to the country situation. So maybe I'm just looking for the way to get food for them to chop, then plead on them, say the government will change for the better, for the future. So I don't have to worry too much. I can't kill myself. That's just the truth.
this is entertainment news on Signature TV. Of course, we bring you the latest, the juiciest, and the most interesting stories from the entertainment industry. My name is Quincy Rowland, and of course, I am bringing you the best of the best to your screens. So stay glued, enjoy, and relax. First on the screen, we have Zendaya has sparked online speculations that she and her fellow actor Tom Holland might be engaged by stepping out of the Golden Globes on with a sparkling ring on her wedding ring finger. Posing on the red carpet in an orange gown, what looks like a diamond ring can clearly be seen on the fourth finger of her left hand. The image set alight online speculation that the couple may have become engaged. Representatives for the pair didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Zendaya and Holland met when they were starred in Spider-Man and have reportedly been together as a couple for the last 4 years. At Sunday's Golden Globes, Zendaya was nominated for Best Performance by a Female Actor in Musical or Comedy for Challengers. She lost out to Demi Moore, who triumphed for her performance in The Substance. Next, we have Afrobeats producer Adegboyega Ikwe, also known as Ade, has claimed he was shot at during an encounter with Nigerian police operatives in Lagos. According to him, the officers who shot at him claimed he had tried to kill them on the highway. He claimed that the officers nearly damaged his car by seizing the steering wheel and steering him into a ditch. In another post, the music producer lamented that he was tired of Nigeria and the police brutality in the country. The Lagos State Police Command has not yet responded to the allegations. And we have famous American media personality Candace Owen has expressed deep admiration for Nigerians. The political commentator said she wished she were Nigerian. According to her, Nigerians are cultural and have a strong value system. Speaking during a recent episode of her show, Owen said she is a big fan of Nigeria. And we have popular Nollywood actress Iyabo Ojo has stated that she regrets advocating for the late singer Mohbad's exhumation. Iyabo Ojo, during an interview with Biola Bayo on the Talk to Be podcast, expressed her regret during the burial delays and the ongoing disputes within the singer's family. Mohbad died on 12 September 2023 in a controversial manner and buried the following day. His body was, however, exhumed by the Lagos State Police for autopsy on September 21, 2023. In October 2023, Mohbad's father, Joseph Aloba, insisted that the singer would not be buried until a DNA test is conducted on the singer's song, Liam. And that's all we have on the entertainment screen. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We are right there to give you more interesting stories from the entertainment world. I am Quincy Rowland. Stay tuned and stay entertained.
This is the first official visit to Enugu State by President Bola Tinubu since he assumed office in 2023. The president commended the host governor Peter Mba for the infrastructure he has put in place in the state and pledged to support him in putting more infrastructures and facilities in place. The president commissioned the state-of-the-art Command and Control Center, one of the numerous mega projects executed by Governor Mba-led administration.
It's a historic moment in Enugu as Enugu state government and the people of Enugu is set to witness the commissioning of the Command and Control Center here in Government House Enugu. The commissioning will be conducted by the President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This commissioning of the Command and Control Center will help in security innovations in Enugu State.
You are a good thinker, my friend. We can go places together. Working hard. Building Nigeria. Building the future.
Other projects commissioned by the president include 30 Enugu Smart Green Schools, 60 Type 2 primary health care centers, and 90 urban roads in Enugu City, which took place at various locations. First was the Smart Green School at Government Technical College, Enugu. New Haven Junction and adjoining roads, the International Conference Center, and the Command and Control Center, equipped with 150 patrol vehicles fitted with AI-embedded surveillance cameras.
I am happy that we are seeing development, we are seeing the future of Nigeria, giving hope from elementary school, not just only on kindergarten. We are seeing technology at work. We are seeing road construction, infrastructural development to ensure economic growth.
President Tinubu observed that the various development projects are crucial for attracting local, foreign investments, creating jobs, and providing a better future for all.
For whatever is the pain that we go through in the past 18 months, is now beginning to yield good results. Part of evidence of this is here we are commissioning multi-purpose center for economic, business, opportunity, growth, and sustainable development of one of our very historic states, the God-blessed ENUGU state.
Earlier, Governor Mba said the airport New Haven, Bisala, and Okpara Square 19-kilometer roads represent 85 urban roads his administration constructed between October 2023 and October 2024.
Your Excellency, this is not just a conference center. It is facilities that spans to meetings, restaurants, cinemas, shops. We have over 50 shops here and other pastime activities, including recreational activities. So it is a community of activity center.
Guests at the event shared their thoughts on the President's visit and the significance of the commissioned projects in driving human development.
That the President is coming to Enugu State, that is not even an APC state or the governing party state. It's a good thing. It's a sign of good leadership. It's a sign that His Excellency, the President, appreciates our governor, His Excellency, Dr. Barrister Peter Ndubisi Simba. He appreciates what he's doing.
This project will expand Enugu, make the GDP of Enugu to come up by giving the people of Enugu the main thing they need, which is governance, and also for them to be engaged when it comes to financial freedom.
Because in less than 2 years in his office, the Soka local government is receiving not less than 30 billion naira investment in our local government. We are the largest local government in the country, and we have 20 wards. In that 20 wards, we have 20 smart schools being built. We have 20 type 2 primary health care being built. We have 10-kilometer road per ward. As I'm talking to you, we already have His Excellency have finished building a bus terminal in Soka local government.
We are one. Everything in the Simba one do, in the do with Hausa community. So we are thank you very much.
The commissioning ceremony was witnessed by various dignitaries, including the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, Abia State Governor, Alex Oti, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, the Minister of Works, Dave Umai, and other federal and state government officials. Chinemerem Ikebnam, Signature TV News.
Every second, every minute, every day, News is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Enugu State ushered in the new year with a spirit of gratitude and hope. The atmosphere was electric as citizens and government officials gathered for a heartfelt Thanksgiving service, filled with uplifting hymns and praises. In his New Year address, Governor Peter Tamba reflected on his administration's achievements in 2024, including completing projects commissioned by President Bola Tinubu during his visit to the state. Mba emphasized his vision for Enugu State to become a premier destination for tourism, investment, and living in 2025. He also stressed the importance of sustainability in the state's development, ensuring continuous progress and improvement. The governor urged Enugu citizens to work together towards a higher sense of duty, noting that 2025 holds much promise for all.
And they are indeed a critical source of strength for us to keep pushing on. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of us, and by extension, ENUGU, for the massive show of support. All of you, a number of you traveled from distant places to join us in welcoming a few days ago our president. I want to say a big thank you to all of you. We do not take your support and commitment for granted.
His address was preceded by a holy mass, a tradition he leads to begin each year with prayers and reflections. The director of Catholic Institutes of Development, Justice, Peace and Caritas, SIDJAP, Reverend Father Donatus Onwibu, called on the government to listen to the people and be reasonable, expressing hope for a brighter future for Enugu State.
People who we teach that in the past, Galileo, Copernicus, all who saw ahead of their generation, Socrates, many of them were killed, many were suicided. But eventually, posterity will prove them right.
Meanwhile, Oji River Local Government Chairman Greg Anyebudike said that he is committed to working with the state government to drive growth and development in Oji River, backed by an impressive 2025 budget of over 11 billion.
We set up Oji River Economic and Development Steering Committee because we are hoping to see massive development in OGDC. We are moving towards a trajectory of irreversible development of Oji River, turning it from a junction town to a town for living, for leisure, for business, and for other activities, for commercial activities. Oji River is structurally posited in the state, and where we are positioned, we have a lot of potential, which we intend that 2025 will help us to harness.
As the gathering drew to a close, attendees were filled with faith and confidence in a bright and prosperous future for Enugu State and its people. Chinemerem Ikebunam, Signature TV News.
This is entertainment news on Signature TV. Of course, we bring you the latest, the juiciest, and the most interesting stories from the entertainment industry. My name is Quincy Rowland, and of course, I am bringing you the best of the best to your screens. So stay glued, enjoy, and relax. First on the screen, we have Zendaya has sparked online speculations that she and her fellow actor Tom Holland might be engaged by stepping out of the Golden Globes on with a sparkling ring on her wedding ring finger. Posing on the red carpet in an orange gown, what looks like a diamond ring can clearly be seen on the fourth finger of her left hand. The image set alight online speculation that the couple may have become engaged. Representatives for the pair didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Zendaya and Holland met when they were starred in Spider-Man and have reportedly been together as a couple for the last 4 years. At Sunday's Golden Globes, Zendaya was nominated for Best Performance by a Female Actor in Musical or Comedy for Challengers. She lost out to Demi Moore, who triumphed for her performance in The Substance. Next, we have Afrobeats producer Adegboyega Ikwe, also known as Ade, has claimed he was shot at during an encounter with Nigerian police operatives in Lagos. According to him, the officers who shot at him claimed he had tried to kill them on the highway. He claimed that the officers nearly damaged his car by seizing the steering wheel and steering him into a ditch. In another post, the music producer lamented that he was tired of Nigeria and the police brutality in the country. The Lagos State Police Command has not yet responded to the allegations. And we have famous American media personality Candace Owen has expressed deep admiration for Nigerians. The political commentator said she wished she were Nigerian. According to her, Nigerians are cultural and have a strong value system. Speaking during a recent episode of her show, Owen said she is a big fan of Nigeria. And we have popular Nollywood actress Iyabo Ojo has stated that she regrets advocating for the late singer Mohbad's exhumation. Iyabo Ojo, during an interview with Biola Bayo on the Talk to Be podcast, expressed her regret during the burial delays and the ongoing disputes within the singer's family. Mohbad died on 12 September 2023 in a controversial manner and buried the following day. His body was, however, exhumed by the Lagos State Police for autopsy on September 21, 2023. In October 2023, Mohbad's father, Joseph Aloba, insisted that the singer would not be buried until a DNA test is conducted on the singer's song, Liam. And that's all we have on the entertainment screen. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We are right there to give you more interesting stories from the entertainment world. I am Quincy Rowland. Stay tuned and stay entertained.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome back. This is Signature Morning, and in the studio we have a guest, Chinemeremi Kebuna, one of our correspondents. And yesterday she had attended the goodwill message that the governor had read out or said to the people at the Government House Cathedral. I would like to get her opinion on what happened and the, what he said and how it's important to us in the state. Good morning, Chinemer.
Good morning.
Okay, so we'd like to know, what did Governor Peter Mbah say yesterday during his goodwill message, and how is it significant to today?
Okay, I'll start by saying that I think the man has already planned his year 2025, starting with the release of the 971 billion naira budget, and with that is already set to run. And from what he said, he was not reading anything in his goodwill message. He was just talking out of excitement because of what we had last. That was the presidential visit. And he said he's continuing his good work. He wants to move with the speed that he had. That was last year, 2024. Exactly. And he also promised the people of Enugu State to, to support him and be committed to the good work he's doing. He has promised infrastructure development. He has promised good road network. He has promised a whole lot for the people of Enugu. So he wants that commitment. He wants to move with the speed he moved with 2024. But I guess that there have been a whole lot of criticism coming from the people of Enugu State. Some persons are saying that Peter Mbah is not actually what people think he is, because the idea is that he's doing really well in Enugu State, looking at the demolitions happening, looking at the constructions happening. Some persons will say looking at the paintings too happening, because, some persons are judging him with the fact that those roads are not really kind of durable roads. He's just kind of trying to patch some roads and the rest, that they have not seen anything quality in his work. While some persons are also saying that there have not been any project he started that he completed. And I think that has gotten to his ears and he's trying to justify it. So in his goodwill message, he's talking about the need for the speed. He's not just talking about the need for the speed. He's talking about why he's gathering all those projects and he's trying to achieve all those things. He's saying he's doing it because of the people of Enugu State. He's doing it because he feels education is important, and that's why he wants to build like 260 smart green schools in the whole of the 260 wards we have in Enugu State. He said he wants Enugu children to not just be educated, but also reach up to the international standard out there. So I feel he's aware that they are, of course, Enugu just hosted the presidential visit, and that is kind of, it's a whole lot, not just for the people of Enugu State, but just also for the people of Southeast, like I said during the Southeast news the other day, yesterday. Yeah, so all eyes are on him. He's a kind of an attraction, and I feel he's ready, or rather, he is willing to beat what he has set, the target he has set. So he's seeking for commitment, and he said he will continue just like he did in 2024. So the question is, what did he really do in 2024? Yes. And I think Peter Mbah being the governor of Enugu State, he achieved a lot in 2024. People will say he's a disruptive, he went into these disruptive innovations. Some persons will also say that it was he was just too fast. The things he was doing, the promises he was making, we are looking not like it was looking so unreal to people's faces. And yes, at some point when he said he was carrying on with the International Conference Center, was carrying on with the Presidential Hotel, he was carrying on with a whole lot of projects, 260 smart green schools, and you're wondering, how will this man achieve it? So he gave us a flag of Owo at the smart green school at Owo, and we were like, this is more like the only thing he has done. And just few months back, it keeps progressing. We have like 30, although not fully completed, but at least 30 that are roughly 90% completed is something. So I think, yes, he's having a very huge project. Like, he has a whole lot in his palms, but I also feel like he's somebody that is willing to do something. You can't compare his administration with the past administration. There's a whole lot of gap.
A big difference.
Yes, there's a big difference. So basically, we still believe that this 2025 is not going to be different from 2024, just like he said.
All right, I mean, let's leave it there. We're going to call you up again, maybe a little later, to talk a little more about this. I mean, somebody had whispered to me that there was no rice at the government house this year, or last year.
No.
And I'm wondering why that is. I mean, previous administration, we are sure of rice in December, but this particular one that passed, there's no rice. It's as if the rice is shifted to January, or is it shifted to Easter?
If it's shifted to January, I will really appreciate it, because I will partake in the rice. But the way I'm seeing it, I think that the young man is interested in Enugu State. I'm forgetting that he's working with some persons.
I mean, that's how it should be, if you ask.
That's how it shouldn't be.
That's how it shouldn't be. It's not encouraging for us.
All right, we're headed for a short break. We'll be back after this. So stay with us.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.